2020. 6 years removed from Tamir Rice being murdered right here in this park. He was murdered just over there. I want to say about just a few meters away. Every time I walk through this park, it's hard not to think about that day. Because I remember watching the news, and you know how it is when you watch the news and you see your neighborhood, or a place you grew up at, or a place you're familiar with, and you see an incident, especially a murder. So you like zone in and just wait a second, that's like close to home. Not thinking that we were about to be, I said we, but we as in people who look like me are about to be a part of another hashtag or another movement. When Tamir Rice was shot, it kind of took me aback because I know the way this world is set up, and I know how this world look upon black folks. I know how this world look upon black youth. I know how I look upon black youth because I was a black youth. And to see what I saw in the video in a park that not frequently, but I walk through if I'm just taking a stroll. You know, I'm normally driving, but just say for a chance that I'm taking a walk or a stroll, I have to walk through this park if I want to get to this store, or if I just want to come to the park, or I might want to, shoot some hoops right over here on my left. You can't see them now, but it's like it's 2 full courts over here. It's this is not the best neighborhood. It's definitely not the worst. But to be gunned down by Cleveland's finest, one of our own, police, it takes it to a different level, takes us to a different conversation. They got a monument set up over here. It's like a makeshift monument. It was, local artists, paint little sayings, and not even just artists, just, well wishers, and just, all your RIP, we miss yous and all that stuff on rocks and on pillars, and it was there for a while, but it got to a point where some people who don't look like us decided that they're sick of it and they want to change it. And I get it to a point where it's time to move on from a local park mourning a loss of an individual, but it's bigger than that. A young child was murdered by the police, and right behind an elementary school. He was supposedly playing with a airsoft pistol that looked real. These folks in this building, they phoned in a 911 call and said, we see a child with a gun. Police rolled up. Everybody seen the video. Shots were fired. Seemed like pretty immediately. I don't know. Last time I checked, every police car had like a megaphone or a speaker, and you don't even have to get out the car to de-escalate some things, especially when it comes to dealing with a kid. But that's neither here nor there because you can't change it. In 2014, you can't change it. It happened. We have to deal with it. But do we have to deal with it? So that's just another name along the list of hashtags of, black folks being slain. Trayvon Martin, the Eric Garners, the Philando Castiles, the Sandra Bland, that's a different one, but you want to throw her in the mix. And the list go on and on. If you want to go further back, we can talk Emmett Till. So the argument always gets shifted, or a lot of folks like to deflect and talk about black on black crime, which I can't stand the term. I hate the term. Do we say white on white crime? We never say white on white crime. It exists, right? Do we talk about white collar crime enough? No, not enough. But is it a true term that fits and sticks? To a point. But back to the black on black crime thing, the conversation always get hijacked when we lose somebody to police violence or police brutality, to where you don't lose your life but you get brutalized, or racial profiling and modern day lynching, stuff like that. And even the crimes that happen amongst black folks on other black folks in the community. But to put a label on it and let conversations get hijacked whenever we're trying to get justice for a crime that was committed. Like when a lot of these folks get murdered, it was a crime that was committed. But Trayvon Martin was a crime. Tamir Rice was a crime. Philando Castile, that was a crime. Breonna Taylor, that was a crime. We need to treat those crimes as such. If we not take care of, I almost use the term minority. I can't stand the term minority because me, myself, I don't consider myself a minority. I hate that term. But based on the American standard, when minorities get abused and neglected, it's kind of hard for us in that group to swallow that, because whenever one of us get murdered, folks that don't look like us try to justify why we was murdered, and we become the blame of why we don't exist. Okay, the young man had an airsoft pistol which looked real. Does that mean he should be dead today? It was a hard video to look at. The officer could have did, a few things different. Easy for me to say, I'm not an officer. I don't have a badge. But growing up as a kid, I always knew that police officers had microphones inside the car. They had speakers inside, outside of the car to communicate with you without even getting out of the car. And you're dealing with a child. Just the sound of that megaphone saying, giving, direct orders, put the toy down, put the weapon down, step back a couple feet, it wasn't enough communication from the officer inside of the car, and he just immediately jumped out, and it is just hard. You know what? I'm gonna continue with the video, but I almost don't want to talk about it because it's confusing as shit to me that this kind of stuff continually happens. Philando Castile, that was a tough one. That one took me out. With his child in the back seat, on the passenger side, you really felt threatened, where you thought a routine traffic stop where this guy was going to take your life with his child in the back seat and his girlfriend or fiance, that one took me out. That one took me out. Trayvon Martin. Like I said before, I walked through these parks numerous times. I've been a child walking through parks. If you've ever been followed in your life, it's almost one of the worst and scariest, unpredictable predicaments you can be involved in, because you don't know what's going on. You just don't. You don't know whether to run. You don't know whether to stop and say, hey man, what's going on? Why are you following me? You don't know whether to turn around and defend yourself, or just be on the defense, or the offense rather. You just don't know. And just imagine a teenage kid being stalked by an adult that don't look like you. You might have an ulterior motive. Who's to say whether Zimmerman was a racist? I don't care about whether him being a racist. I just know he's a fucking criminal and a murderer. For what he did, it was wrong. I don't give a fuck if he loves black folks. I don't give a fuck if he got a black life. The fact that that man stalked that young boy because he felt that he was doing the neighborhood watch or the gated community justice, and I think he kind of dove into his nosiness. He just wanted to figure some shit out, and he felt like a hero at the moment, so he felt like, I'm about to protect this area, I'm about to protect me, I'm about to flex my little muscle a little bit on this young cat. I see it all the time. He wanted to flex on the young boy, and the young guy wasn't having it. A lot of these young dudes is just not having it. Every individual has a right to defend himself when he's being stalked or being attacked. Does Zimmerman have a right to defend himself if he feel that he's potentially might be murdered? It's a good question, ain't it? Possibility. But based in Florida laws, the stand your ground law, and I get it, that's the law in Florida. But this man stalked this young boy. He provoked the whole incident. This incident didn't have to happen. The whole Skittle thing, and I don't know. Was he casing the joint? Did he have plans to, commit a crime inside that gated community? I don't know, and I don't think so. But one thing I do know, he should be alive today. And him being, what's the word I'm looking for? Him being demonized in the media to be something that he probably wasn't is absolutely irrelevant. I don't care what type of past Trayvon Martin might have had in high school or things he might have said or pictures he might have taken. For him to be murdered the way he was murdered, it shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. Especially at the hands of the asshole that did it. And this bitch still walking the streets with a clueless mind frame about the whole thing. When I say that, I'm talking about like the interviews he did and the whole Skittle thing and taking pictures and selling his firearm that he used in the crime, and it just turned my stomach. I'm pretty sure it's a lot deeper than what the media puts out there. But it's just a sad, turn of events. And it always come back to, well, what did Trayvon do to cause his own murder? What did Tamir Rice do to cause his own murder? What did Philando Castile do to cause his own murder? What did Eric Garner do to cause his own murder? What did George Floyd do to cause his own murder? So, and that's one thing I learned about this world, and just people in general. And this is all motherfucking people. I'm talking about white, black, I don't give a fuck, Asian, people of Arab and Indian descent. We as human beings, when something bad happens to a person, whether it be murder, brutalized, or accidental death, or even natural causes, we will find some reason or way to justify why that person is dead. Say if I pass away today, my co-workers might be like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Ronnie was a cool ass dude, man. I miss that dude. But he did like to step out every now and then on the weekends. You always gonna have that one person. You have that other person like, I remember that one time me and Bobby kicked it and we got pulled over by the police. That dude just let them have it. He just let them know that, look, this ain't that. You know what I mean? Or it might be that other person. What do you die of? You die of what, diabetes or something like that? That dude sure can eat, man. We would go to, a little crab boil spot, and you know what I'm saying? We would eat like $100 worth of crab legs and all that butter he used to use. And those are just wild examples, but the shit is real. People do that. It's just human nature. We like to have answers. We like to have. Perfect example. You ever watch a movie, right? And the ending isn't quite like you want it. You want the ending to be concrete. But if the ending isn't concrete, you come to your own conclusion to how that movie ended. And we do the same thing when it comes to people when they pass away. We'll evaluate everything that we know about that person and what they did in their life to try to find closure on why that person might have passed away or why that person might have been murdered. Now, I will say this. You know, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Do I believe that quote? I believe that quote. I get behind that quote strongly. Can people be a product of their environment? Yes, they can. But to come up with the assumption to feel comfortable in your justification on why that person was murdered or passed away is just not fair to the deceased. It's not. You know, I can be living my life completely dirty. Like, I could be out here robbing dudes, this, that, and the other, and you hear about me being murdered the next week. There's no guarantee that it's somebody that I previously robbed murdered me. It could have been a rare coincidence to where just the opposite happened. I could have been in the wrong place, wrong time. It could have been a robbery in progress, and I just caught a stray. You know what I mean? But to the people that's still here today, they're going to think that he had it coming to him from one of the people that he got. Now, I know a lot of y'all saying, well, that's karma. I don't know how much I believe in karma. You know, if this shit gonna happen, it's gonna happen. I know people live shitty lives and were, you know, was rewarded in some form of fashion, more so than people who lived great lives who had constant turmoil come their way or something to just, you know, just shake their livelihood up, you know. So the karma thing, I don't know, it's a matter of what you believe and how much energy you put into things in this universe, and how much we project a certain type of energy to where we think that bounces back on us. So the whole karma thing is, I don't know exactly where I stand on that. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I'm talking about the best of us get it. You know, you can be a straight A student, live your life on a straight and narrow, get the career job, get the trophy wife, do this, that, and the other, and you just have, you know, take a vacation with your girl. That's that one day where that engine on that plane don't work and it crashes. And who do you blame? But the way human beings are set up, we will find a way to justify why that person was murdered or end up dying to find closure within. Kobe Bryant situation. Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter crash. Him and his daughter and 9 others, or would I say 7 others, because, you know, Kobe and his daughter count as 2. There were people saying that, well, Kobe did beat a rape trial. Kobe is probably part of the Illuminati, and which I do believe in secret societies, which I do. Anybody who don't, you're foolish. You gotta think. Look harder, look deep. Shit is right in your face. But we have to be a little smarter and not try to find justification in every single death to blame the person who was deceased. It's just not fair to that person because they can't defend themselves, 1. 2, who are you to have that power or that insight to speak on that and to be concrete in how you feel about that? And that's just dirty, man. It's just, you know, absolutely dirty. But this video going a little longer than I wanted to go. So, you know, this is just another video about nothing. I'm just in the park and I'm just rambling. This is nice weather. I'm at Cadell Park where, you know, Tamir Rice was shot. And I got here and I just feel like talking about that. I feel like talking about some other things. So we just gonna leave it at that. 2014, Tamir Rice. And I think they're currently working on a new monument to celebrate him. But when I roll past, I'm gonna, you know, show some footage of, you know, what it looks like now in 2020. The George Floyd hashtag year. 2020 was something different, boy. And I ain't talking about just the social injustice and the protests and the riots, but just that little sickness we got going around, that corona, you know what I'm saying? It hit home, it came here. It dropped in our backyard, which is the United States. But that's all I got. I'm about to get up off this video, you know what I'm saying? It's getting late. What time is it? It's about 8:15 here in Cleveland, Ohio. Beautiful weather. And I'm about to enjoy the rest of my day. All right, y'all.